So I'm going to do a couple more detail-oriented videos. Just a couple more detail-oriented videos. And then I'm going to move onward to the next topic at hand. Me versus your Jesus, part 3 of Infinity. Why is it me versus your Jesus, part 3 of Infinity? Simple. Because your Jesus, that white one, is a lie. And yet we treat it as our principle. Principle spelled with a P-A-L. Principalities, right? Why did the oppressive body decide to keep the principalities angel in the third triad, or the first triad, or the physical triad? Why? Can any of you possibly take a guess as to why they would mess with so many, I want to say, lower, sort of out of reach things that are vital in a sense? You follow me? When they changed up, when St. Pope Gregory III changed up the order of the principalities angel and the virtues angel, what he ultimately did is he made our principles seem as our master or no ruler in the physical. Our master and ruler would be the physical, our physical conscious mind. But here's the thing though, this entire reality is a death-based energy right now currently, due to the control it's under, right? What am I getting at here? Physical reality itself, with or without government, is devil skin. Physical reality, with or without government, is devil skin. The devil skin? Do any type of research on where the words, the remnant of her seed, are mentioned, and you'll get what I'm talking about. This entire physical reality, the physical reality, is devil skin. The devil is a self-destructive nature. The devil has a very self-destructive force of nature. You get me? And if our principle, meaning our master and ruler, is a very self-destructive individual, how do you think our master and or ruler is going to guide us to be? Self-destructive. You see. Switch the principalities angel with the virtues angel. Put them back to normal. Just want to throw that detail out there real fast. Now, here's another thing I want to say. What do you think of this term right here, prejudice love? What do you think of the term called prejudice love? Like I said, it's a detailed video. It's a detail. I'm getting somewhere. You'll see where I'm getting. Principalities. Move it back to the heart chakra slot. Put virtues in the sacral chakra spot. Or the angel choirs is what I meant. The first, second, and third triad. Principalities being in a spiritual space will make our master spiritual. The spirit is a life-giving energy. It is prejudice love. You'll get what I mean when I say prejudice love in a moment. I'm going to get to it. And I'm going to connect what I said earlier to what I'm saying, getting ready to say next. I just want to connect it real fast. So, the spirit is a prejudice love. You follow what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of the word prejudice. Just know what it means as I'm using it and why I'm using it. Yeah, I know you hear the military forces say attack with extreme prejudice and all of that, right? I know you hear that sometimes, and that word can terrify you because of the way, because I'm using it, right? But here, switch principalities from the physical slot that it's in to the spiritual slot that it belongs in. Our master is of the spirit. The spirit is of our master. Our master is of the spirit. The spirit is our master. The spirit and the soul are one and the same thing. You would consider the spirit as divine feminine energy and the soul as divine masculine energy. But no matter what, they are still one and the same energies, period. But here, the God Kingdom Principle Foundation is prejudice. Prejudice love. Prejudice love. God Kingdom Foundation. What do I mean by foundation? What we're standing on here. What we're standing on. What is going to support our movements no matter what we do on the platform upon we stand. It's going to support our movements. It's going to support what we do no matter what we do on it. What can you label and describe that reacts to us in the regard? No matter what we do on it, it supports us. No matter what we do on it or within it, it supports us, the planet. The planet has a prejudiced love for all of humanity. The planet itself has a prejudiced love for all of humanity. What do I mean by prejudice, though? Think about the literal meaning of the word prejudice. Prejudgment. Going off an idea without knowing any type of facts regarding the idea. Prejudgment. Not knowing what a thing is, and yet you have something to feel about it. Prejudgment. Prejudice. That's simply what the word means. But that's where it starts in the non-physical. Prejudice comes from the non-physical first. Because it's an ignorance word. Kingdom. Prejudice is an ignorance-based word, yeah? Kingdom, right? So, God Kingdom principles. And when I say principles for God Kingdom, I'm saying it with a P-R-I-N-C-I-P-L-E. You see? Principle. The word principle spelled with a P-L-E at the end and not a P-A-L at the end. It defines as a fundamental, I was about to say it right, a fundamental truth or proposition that serves as the foundation. Serves as the foundation for a system of belief, behavior, or for a chain of reasoning. So check this out, right? Not knowing. Prejudice is an ignorance word. God Kingdom. Principalities move into the spirit and keep virtues in the physical and keep principalities in the spirit. Keep virtues in the physical and keep principalities in the spirit, right? Combine all that together if you would. Just details before I get to talking about what I really want to talk about. God Kingdom principles. An aspect of the God Kingdom principles is prejudice love. Not knowing who you are, where you're from, yet I love you anyways. And everything you do, I support. That's the God Kingdom principle, though. I'm not talking about the other principle, the P-A-L. That's the P-L-E right there. Prejudice love. No matter who you are, where you are, what you've ever done in your life, I love you, period. Prejudice love. That's the kingdom principle, though. I didn't say it was the king's principle. I said it's the kingdom principle, right? Notice how no matter what we put on this planet, like all this concrete, for example, it still supports us. The only way the weather patterns on this planet go crazy is if someone engineers the weather patterns on this planet to go crazy. Other than that, our weather is just right at all times. God Kingdom principle. This here planet is the physical body of the Most High God, as everything is. God is not some entity nor being in the sky, for God is the sky itself. God, the actual, true, real life God, is not some being and or entity in the sky, for God is the sky and beyond it itself. God Kingdom principle. Prejudice love. What do you think about prejudice love when you hear that, right? The word scares you, right? Prejudice. Yeah, when you look up the word racism, it's literally the first word there, prejudice, and then discrimination or antagonism and blah, 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 right? Prejudice love, though. Here's another reason why I want to throw this out here. This entire world is built off of a prejudice hatred. You don't even know who I am or what I am. You just recognize me for being like this, so you hate me for it. Why do you hate black people? That's not even what you should be calling us. You shouldn't even want the title of black to be labeled and described unto thee. Have you any idea how many definitions tied to that word that involve evil and wicked and not fit for society, servitude only? You owe us. What do we owe you? You don't even know. Prejudgment, prejudice, all ties into the definition of or the meaning of this word or the meaning of this word. You follow what I'm saying? Prejudice. But that there that I just labeled and described is the prejudice hatred of the oppressors, who in reality are just pretending to be oppressors. In reality, they're so-called humans. What is a human? In actuality, God love. Human beings in actuality are God love, or the Soul King itself. The soul is the essence of God, man. Believe whatever you want. Here. The planet, nature, everything out here supports you no matter what you do. That's prejudice love, right? Now the king, on the other hand, this is where I'm getting to. This is what I want to talk about before I got to the other details. The king that stands on the foundation. This character is the one that doesn't desire to allow anything opposite of what its foundational grounds are to be set upon it. The king, on the other hand, the one that stands on the God Kingdom principle. Principal Soul King, Principal Life Force Energy, Principal Heart of Hearts. He is the one that does not desire or if he could see it right now, if the sun was up high enough for him to see, doesn't like or appreciate anything opposite of what its God Kingdom principle grounds are to be set upon it. Take these words. So, how do we tap into the king character if you want to stop what is wrong, so to speak, from settling on your grounds? You have to see what the grounds are. Up, up, higher, higher. The more you learn, the more you rise. The more you regain the awareness of who you are truly, the Soul King itself, and or Principal Heart of Hearts, and or God love. Notice I'm not saying God's love, I'm saying God love. The more you know of these things, the more what is trying to place the wrong thing on your grounds through you, you might stop them. You may. I have high hopes that you will, because I have full recognition and or awareness of what the Soul King's character is and the grounds, the principles upon which the Soul King stands, you see. And I notice that all of us are one with this here God love and or this here Soul King. We're also one with the God Kingdom principles. We're one with all of it. However, due to, once again, the devil skin I was telling you about, due to the remnant of her seed, or the remnant of Sophia, if you want to go there, right? Just to name a name, because that'll be the one we'll be the most familiar with when we get to this point of knowledge, or get to this point of understanding what's really going on in the world here. Due to her constant instructions being built in order trying to cover up the God love energy, constantly trying to cover it up. Doesn't create, just manipulates. It doesn't create, it just manipulates. Due to this here remnant of her seed that gained a body and a lady of death that gave us birth once, or that gave life once, right? You don't have to watch. I know it's crazy thoughts. It's always going to be crazy thoughts for me because global child manumission. But at any rate, due to this here Sophia, or whoever this Saturn god is, or whoever the one that created the devil through humanity, so that the devil through humanity can place the opposite of what the God Kingdom principles are on the God Kingdom principle grounds. Whoever this is will never stop trying to cover up the God energy, ever. And the remnant of her seed that gained a body due to the rest of her physical reality trying to cover up God energy, we are doing things that it wants us to do. What does it want us to do? Die faster. It's like it just always wants some things bad to happen to its own skin. That makes sense to you? Why is it that she wants, or it wants, so many things happening to its skin? Why is that? You want to know why? Because the remnant of her seed is pure evil energy. Why isn't our God skin, or this physical reality's devil skin, why isn't it causing us, without the intrusion of her influence or its influence, why isn't it causing us to kill ourselves? Because of the energy in us. God is in everything. The God love energy is in everything. The God life-giving energy is in everything in this world. Notice this here car that I'm sitting in. Did you notice these are particles of devil skin energy, or devil skin physical reality, in which harbors God energy within it, taken from different places and crafted into this thing? Or like this here sandal, or this here towel, right? Taken from different places of the devil skin reality with God love energy in it. Unfortunately, that's how it's set up. It's just how it is. But now that you know, what are you going to do about it? It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Yeah, it may not supposed to be like this, but this is how it is. So what are you going to do about it? Any rate, taken from pieces of this here reality, crafted into this here vehicle that I sit in. Man-made, right? Ain't that what they call it? Yeah, that's literally how something is man-made. When you are taking pieces of this here physical reality and you are crafting it into something else other than what is growing from the God energy. You dig? If that makes sense to you? If you follow what I'm saying? What does the God energy produce? With this here skin that's layering over its energy. What does the God energy produce through this skin versus what Sophia is trying to produce through this skin? This reality is skin. It's a type of skin, yeah. Devil skin. But this physical reality is a skin. What is growing through it are two separate things. One, God's energy, which the king, the sun, is trying to protect. And the second one is Sophia. Technically three then, right? No, it's two. Because the son and the father are one. In spirit, at least. In soul. But Sophia is outside, or whoever this center of immoral authority is. Right? So details. Real quick. I want to tell you about this 9, 18, and 21 again. I'm simplifying it more and more as I go. Here's how I'm going to combat it. With this idea here. This army. Army of ideas that I'm putting into this world that are first going to invade, then plant, then reestablish, and manifest. I have here for you, for the strength to beat this here, whoever the source of all immoral authority is. I know who it is. I just want to say things because there's so many of you who are sensitive, and we need to know how we can speak to sensitive people in these times. Through the spirit, the soul breathes. But if the soul ain't trying to go through the spirit, then how is it going to breathe? It ain't. Why do you think it's currently being covered up? So it won't know how to go through the spirit. So it can breathe. You don't even know what the spirit is. Moving along. So, I have a handful of parables here. Primarily 4. But they just encompass so many things. I've talked about them in many videos before. I'm going to try to say them a little bit more quickly now. Just the titles alone. Or just a summary of the titles. Just to let you know how much I've gotten it. Like I said, the 9, 18, and the 21. I'm thinking about making a 27. Just so it can incorporate instructions on how to multiply by 9s in there. Like I said, I am the God of enlightenment. Or at least I sort of prize myself on that title there. Who am I really though? Just God love as everybody else is. I'm just God love as everybody else is. And I stand on God's kingdom principle foundation with the king fully freaking awakened in my head, seeing everything. Wishing I could do something to get it off of my grounds. Like all this concrete, for example. No matter what you do on the planet, it's gonna support you unless you blow it up. But no matter what you do on the planet, it's gonna support you. Even if you're a serial killer, guess what? God kingdom love you. Even if you're a rapist, guess what? God kingdom love you. Now the king, on the other hand, no. You ain't putting this shit on my stuff on my grounds. You ain't, no. Right? This idea, these things that I'm going to be using to go against your Jesus. Because your Jesus on the surface level is the leader of Sophia's army. Sophia is at the core of all of this, meaning she or it is the problem, or whoever your immoral government is, immoral government leader is, whoever it is, nobody knows, right? You know, you just want to act like you don't. So I'm going to do the same thing while knowing. Moving along. Did you know the angel number 666 means reflection, my reflection? Yeah, stop being afraid of what she told you to be afraid of. Stop giving anything evil what it wants. Evil only deserves one thing, an ending. Our women are not like the Saturn goddess. Our women are not like the Saturn goddess. They're not. You want to know what our women are like? God love. You want to know how they're like God love? Because they came from God love. Go back to normal. That's the main root of this message right here. Forcing you to go back to normal. I want out of hell. Why don't you? Right? 9, 18, 21. Now here, I may make it 27 hierarchies at the end because the God Kingdom principles, I'm labeling and describing with the God Kingdom principles that these here hierarchies, these celestial hierarchies are going to love you no matter what you do in your life. But here's what I'm ultimately getting at and how it may be 27 soon, right? Because when I get to the 20-dimensional Kabbalah chakra system, it's 2 hierarchies in 1 hierarchy. The 1 hierarchy is the 20-dimensional Kabbalah chakra system, and the 2 hierarchies that are in it are the 10 sapphire rots and the 10 Qliphoth. That's 2 hierarchies in 1. But here's the thing though. There's also another hierarchy, the 14 lokas. There's a bad side and a good side. And then there's another hierarchy that I have here. The 14 spiritual mannerisms. Spiritual attributes and spiritual gatekeepers. Cosmic energy being an aspect of the crown. Insight being an aspect of the third eye. Truth being an aspect of Vishuddha, throat. Love being an aspect of the heart. Willpower being an aspect of the solar plexus. Pleasure being an aspect of the sacral chakra. And survival energy being an aspect of the root. Survival. Did you know that word simply means continue to live? How can you continue to live properly when there are 7 different gatekeepers, the second hierarchy within this here list, that are trying to stop you from doing so? For example, material vanity, the opposite of cosmic energy, which is the crown chakra aspect. Illusions, which is the blocker of insight. Lies, which is the blocker of truth. Grief, which is the blocker of love. Shame, which is the blocker of willpower. How many ways can you go with that? I'm going to tell you one way right here. Guilt, which is the blocker of pleasure. It's all connected though. And then fear, which is the blocker of survival. If you're afraid of life, how are you going to live it? Think about all of that, right? Just think about it. I pray thee. So check it. I'm thinking about making the 27 higher celestial hierarchies, talking about a whole bunch of principles that are going to love you no matter what you do, even if you know the bad Qlifoth ones or the good Sapphire Rot ones or the 7 gatekeepers or the 7 attributes or the heavenly lokas or the hellish lokas. Doesn't matter. These principles still love you and they support everything that you do in your life. You see? But then I also have the second one, more details before I close the video out. The 18 Loka parables of the Soul King's Idolgar Foundation and/or the Spiritual Olympic Soul Games. You follow me? These details here are going to transpire after the Soul King's military force invades and plants his idea. Look at this again. Can you see it? Just look at it. It's kind of sloppy, yeah? But it's an idea of a psyche map. It's a psyche map. That's what this is. It's like a psyche map, you know? I drew out a psyche map in the form of the Kabbalistic tree of life, or inspired by it. Inspired by it, because it's not the form at all. It looks nothing like it. But it's inspired by it. You follow what I'm saying? And here's the thing. I just said, hey, and like Cosmic Brittany does, the woman who I am not going to steal from her husband. First, now I want to tell you about this last detail. The Soul King's military entrenchment, induction or saga. Induction. Why do I use the word induction? Because that's how you hypnotize somebody. You lead them into a different state of consciousness. That's what the word hypnosis literally defines as. To the induction of a state of consciousness. You know, the state of consciousness I'm trying to put in your minds, the King's state of consciousness. You're already on the God Kingdom state of consciousness. That's your subconscious mind. And what about your conscious mind? Activate that, right? The Soul King military entrenchment induction will be the awakening or the weapon I'm going to use to force drive the awakening into the world. All of the parables that I told you about, the nine branches and things of that nature, especially when we get to the spiritual Air Force branch. The spiritual Air Force branch, I'm going to take a look at those details. Guess what the spiritual Air Force branch is when I get to, you know, inducing this state of consciousness into the world. It is of the 114 chakra celestial system hierarchy. So that means through this here military force, all connected, you see, all connected through this here military force, meaning the King of Kings getting ready to tell you what the King of Kings thinks through me and soon through you all. The God Kingdom principles. How you gonna act when you actually know what you're doing? If you know what the word prejudice means, prejudgment, going off of opinions that are not necessarily based on facts or actual experience, that's what the definition of the word is. When you continue going off of this here prejudice without even knowing what it is, how are you going to act or continue to behave on this here kingdom or with these here celestial hierarchies in your head? Do you think you're still going to be able to behave the way this devil goddess wants you to? Or devil god, whatever. I guess we'll find out. Just more details. Now it's really time to start playing the game. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Prepare yourselves for me. You all are going to be stolen by my Soul King from your devil god. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.